All right. Now, I wanted to talk about these Global Labs nerfs. Oh, that's a little loud. Let's move my mic a little bit away. Maybe that's a little bit better. You can just adjust the volume in YouTube, I suppose. I'm also trying to get this up pretty quickly because I have to leave for work in a bit. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. A lot of people have been upset because a lot of the reworks got quote unquote nerfed. Um, and I just wanted to take a second to talk about some of this stuff because it's not a nerf, for one. Two, these rework does not mean everyone gets buffed across the board. That's not a rework. Now, a lot of people did get buffs, sure. My class in particular, I think, received quite a bit. But a rework doesn't mean your class gets buffed necessarily. Um, and you see these nerfs and you think now, oh, it's shit. No, it's still better than live. I'm gonna use Maehwa as an example here. So here, let me pull this up. These are the KR patch notes. The Global Labs patch notes, for whatever reason, does not include all of the changes. So we have to go to the KR patch notes to see what we actually got. Um, Keep in mind, just like the last patch notes on labs, these are all sorts of fucked up. And a lot of this is very inaccurate between here and here. This is what's currently on labs right now, more or less. So we're going to use this as an example. And this. Actually, we'll do this first. You look at the hit damage, look at the PvP reduction. That's pretty decent. Now, before this update, it would hit like this, but with this PvP reduction. So it was hitting very hard. Very, very hard. Too hard. And I've said it before, maybe not in YouTube videos, because I don't really talk about Maehwa a whole lot, but I used to play Maehwa before I played Kuno, so I've always been curious about her rework. And, I hang out with Frosty a lot. Maybe some of you guys watch his streams. I've talked about Maehwa multiple times there, and how I thought it was very, very strong. I'm still of the opinion that it probably will be pretty good. But they did get their damage nerfed, which is good because having this kind of PvP reduction with this kind of damage numbers is insane on a 5-second cooldown with the DP reduction. Yeah, so this is the kind of damage number it has on live. Now, the flow was added to the base skill. So, and they upped the damage of the flow by a lot. The flow used to do like literally no damage at all. It was like it tickled. It was just to extend the super armor. Now it extends the super armor, but it also does damage. And since the flow is built into the skill, the cooldowns are always, it's always 5 seconds. Every time you use pedal drill, you can use the flow. That's base pedal drill. That's what it looks like on live, more or less. But now if you just hold L and B, the flow is baked into the skill. So that's still a buff. Like, they added 6 hits. PvP reduction increased or not, 30% is still very low. Now, this isn't I wouldn't, you're not going to call this a nuke because the damage doesn't come out like instantly, but yeah, let's actually look at the skill that was nuking people. So this was the damage last patch. This was the PvP reduction last patch. That's insane. Anyone who's, if you play a lot of different classes and you look at the numbers on the skills and stuff, you understand that that's very, very high. Now they upped it by a lot. A lot, a lot. This skill was like doing over half of people's health, like standing up. Like in a combo on the last labs patch, you would just do like this. And if you were both, max gear or near max gear, like most people run on labs, they were dead. Just 1 cc dead. Because of how much damage was in the kit. And I said it before on Frosty's stream that when they buffed all these damage like numbers on her skills, they did not touch any of the PvP reductions. And I said that they should. When I was looking at Kuno, Awakening Kuno in particular, I said multiple times that Everything looks great, but I'm concerned about the damage because Kuno's damage is not going to keep up with some of these newer classes if these newer classes don't get nerfed. Um, and we pushed for like spin buffs and buffs in other areas and stuff, and they did give us spin buffs. They upped the damage and they lowered the PvP reduction. It was hitting pretty good, felt pretty good. And I was still concerned that it might be too weak if other classes weren't getting nerfed. And they did, which is good. But then they also nerfed spin, and that makes me kind of sad. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, spin had a 56.3, I think, percent PvP reduction. Now it's 63 point something. So, yeah. I'll have to really wait to see if it comes live to see if it's hitting hard. But yeah, I still think Awakening Kuno will probably still have some damage issues because they have damage issues on live. They're just a bit faster now. Spin deals a little bit more damage, I think. I'm not gonna math it out. That's yeah. Anyway, I'm getting a bit off topic here. So a lot of people are very upset because they've been keeping up with Global Labs and they see all these buffs happening to their classes over and over again. Buffs, 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 damage buffs, and flows and attack speed increases and stuff. And now they finally got to the part where they are nerfing things to a more reasonable, balanced level. Yeah, funny, balanced word, BDO. Yeah, I get it. You can laugh. It's funny. But it's still better than live. Like, not yesterday, a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago, I got into an argument with somebody in Frosty's stream about Full Bloom. They said that it was weaker than Full Bloom was on live. And they had done the math and that they got upset because I said they were stupid or something like that. And yeah. Now, they were using this number, this PvP reduction with this number versus this PvP reduction and this number. They didn't know that this is not what is on live. This is last patch, or I guess in this case, last patch. And this is current patch. So they were using, these so-called Maehwa mains were using the wrong numbers because they don't even know their own class's skills. And they were trying to tell me that it's worse than live. And it's like, yeah, if you look at this and compare it to this, yeah, that is worse than live. But this isn't live. This is the damage number at max rank on live. It's a lot less. So this hits harder. Not by a whole lot, but it hits harder. Not to mention it charges faster. And the range when you fully charge it is higher. And it breaks your guard by a little bit. I think it's like 10%, right? Yeah, 10%. So, yeah, it did get nerfed on labs, but it's still stronger than it was on live. And so a lot of these people are looking at these notes and they're getting really, really upset at their class because they got some nerfs on global labs. And it's like, well, you have to compare what you're getting from live to global labs currently. You can't compare from last labs to current labs because that's all subject to change. That's not what we're getting. Now, this most recent patch has come out on KR. We're getting it in a few days. So this is more or less what we're going to get. So, which is why I'm okay with talking about some of this right now. So yeah, Maehwa received a lot of like PvP modifiers instead of just raw damage decreases, which is good because they still need to be able to grind well and all that. I still fucking hate that they put forward guard in this skill. Fuck you, Bask. It's your fault. Anyway. Yeah, so you guys got to stop complaining. Seriously. I've seen Frosty get like so upset because people keep saying that the class is worse than live and all that, and it's not. It's not. Like, rework doesn't mean buffs, but most classes, if not all classes, got buffs. Like, even fucking Nova got buffs. Grind buffs, but still buffs. And they got nerfs, which is good because the class is broken. So, yeah. I think the goal, that they said the goal was to make classes more in line with some of these stronger classes, which I don't think has happened. And for grinding, I should specify for grinding. Like I think Awakened Sage is still gonna be like a top tier grinder, probably still the best. And some classes just aren't gonna keep up with something like that. Um, and in PvP, they said that they're gonna continue to monitor things and change it as they go once it hits live servers. So now we've heard that before, right? You know, after like Successions came out, they did like a month or two of balance changes after it released, and then they left it alone. And Suck Wizard was like bonkers broken for almost 2 years. I think it was 1.5 years. Um, so we'll see if they actually keep up with it. I would expect the same thing to happen. You know, we get a month or two of balance changes after it comes out, week to week, and then they just leave it and start focusing on other things. And then the meta will set in, you know? That's usually how these things go. We saw it with the CC changes that shook up the entire game years back, and we saw it when Succession's released. And we'll probably see it again now. So, one more time. The reworks are almost all buffs compared to live, and you have to compare it to live because that's the changes you're getting. You don't get to play, you know, the global labs versions of these classes on live. You don't get to play Maehwa with the unsellable like double chase movement speed that it had before on live. As much as I wish it was slow immune, you know, that'd be nice. It was really nice to play with that. But yeah, that's not what we're getting. Anyway, so yeah, when the reworks actually hit live, I'll probably do a very, very long video going over all the changes for Kuno, just Kuno, because I can't do every class. That would be insane, and I don't know enough about all the other classes to really say. I could probably do Maehwa, Kuno, and Lan, and that's probably it. Yeah. So stop complaining. You have no reason to complain. You're just stupid. I know a lot of people are unhappy with their reworks. I think you're all crazy. Like, especially some of the stronger classes that didn't get significant changes, like some other weaker classes did, that makes a whole lot of sense. Like, come on. If your class is already good, you don't need a whole lot of changes. Yeah. So I know ninjas are kind of upset right now because they nerfed serpent damage by a lot, but they made it the old serpent, like the faster version. And now it hits like Kuno's Wheel of Wrath, but it's still like twice as fast. And they like, oh, it does no damage. It's like, bro, we've been dealing with that for like years. It doesn't do no damage. It's just not one-shotting people anymore, which is a good thing. You can't use one skill and maybe two or three to secure a kill. Like that's not healthy for the game. Same reason like Maehwa got nerfed. This was like nearly you could frost pillars and float tip and kill people like standing up. That's not okay. So yeah, these damage nerfs are good. Um. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it. I just wanted to give you a heads up. Stop complaining. Your class got buffed in most cases. I think Ninja still got buffed overall. Serpent nerf or not. Just like Awaken Nova got PvE buffs, but they got the Excel nerf, which is good. That's healthy. Why they buffed their PvE is beyond me. I don't know. It's so weird. Like, why? Anyway, so yeah. Um, like I said, I'm gonna try to record a video after it comes out on live, which is on the 22nd. But that is a work day for me. I work Monday through Fridays, so I might still be able to do that. Just later at night. I'll be very, very tired though. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Um, don't be a little crybaby. Yep, that's it. Don't be a crybaby. You're your class is fine. You're gonna be okay. Unless you're shy, then you're only okay versus ninjas. Anyway, I'll see you guys now.